Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Too Long Didn't Read Dota News. Now, normally we'd start off with tournament news, but in case you didn't know, the patch is out! 6.84 was released Thursday evening at 4:45 p.m. Valve time, so a little bit before that 5 p.m. mark. We did a special episode on the patch highlighting some key characteristics you'll need to keep in mind when you queue up, and we have analysis from Cloud9's Captain 1437 and the Good Studios dedicated observer Webpass. Now, with that out of the way, I'll give you guys an update on the tournaments that are going on currently. So the Chinese qualifiers for the Nanyang tournament have come to a close, with IG facing up against eHome. eHome took the series 3-2 and will be joining C9 and the EU and SEA qualifier teams, along with invited teams in Singapore. Now, in Moonback Elimination Mode tournament, the fans had many things to celebrate. Reddit was flooded with praise for a break from the oppressive 6.84 meta, and we got to see one of the first EU vs NA clashes since the International. 4CL and Digital Chaos were poised for a great grand finals, with everyone hoping the series proceeded the full 5 games to force the maximum creativity out of each team. Now we all had a bit of a shock when DC suddenly seemed to pick up a Pit Lord out of nowhere. What? Sir Action Slacks did say that all heroes were available, but where did Pit Lord come from? Unfortunately, it was just another instance of #JustReborn things, with DC actually picking up a hero that wasn't technically available. So they were forced to switch to picking a Brewmaster. Now, while the lack of a surprise Pit Lord was a disappointment, the tournament did go to 4 games, with 4CL winning 3-1 against DC. The final series gave us a lot of new heroes to watch, with Skywrath, Enchantress, Fenno, and even some ho-ho-ha-ha Sniper to trigger PTSD from 6.83. Now, the lineup for Dream League Season 4 is announced. We'll see VP, Empire, NIP, Alliance, Monkey Business, Vega Squadron, Monkey Freedom Fighters, and the Open Qualifier winners, 4 Clovers and Leprechaun, facing off in the league for the right to compete at DreamHack Winter Finals. The talent has also been announced with Sheever and Shane as hosts, and Draskell and OD Pixel as commentators, and Lumi as an analyst. They've announced they'll also have special guests on the couch every week to add to the panel. Secret and Virtus Pro debuted into the new Dota season in the World Cyber Arena qualifiers. VP's roster survived the post-TI shuffle, but Team Secret is almost an entirely new roster, so the WCA qualifiers were our first view of the new Team Secret. Secret got off to a hot start with a quick 2-0 against Na'Vi. They moved on to round 2 against Alliance. Puppey caused quite a stir in picking up Weeha's signature Meepo in Game 1. However, Secret went on to lose that game. They eventually took the series. The game was the only one they lost in the entire qualifiers. They moved on to the finals and beat out VP 2-0. Both Secret and VP will be on their way to the World Cyber Arena main event in December to face qualified teams from around the world. Now, ESL China qualifiers have come to a close. The grand finals featured eHome battling up against Invictus Gaming, with eHome taking the series 3-1 against IG. ESL is next weekend and will feature invited teams Secret, VP, CDEC, and EG, along with the qualified teams Vega Squadron, Fnatic, Fire, and eHome battling it out for an over $250,000 base prize pool. We, at TLDR, will be there at the event next week, and we'll look to provide some kind of behind-the-scenes look for ESL for those of you guys who are unable to attend. ESL will be the first big LAN play post-TI, and it's the first time we'll see the new patch in action at a LAN. However, we have seen the patch in action in the MLG World NA qualifiers. So these were played in 6.85 in a best of 5 between Digital Chaos and Cloud9. C9 actually 3-0'd DC. We did get to see some interesting new picks with the new patch, like Elder Titan, Venomancer, Ogre, and a Nyx Assassin. C9 will join the other qualified teams, Monkey Business, and then the 6 invited teams in New Orleans in mid-October. Now, for our last little bit, in popular news, as some of you may have heard, there's been quite a stir concerning what some team owners do outside of the esports scene. Now, Team Imagine's owner, or Leviathan as you might know them, Martin Shkreli, is under target for buying out a drug and raising its price 5,000% from about $13.50 a pill to $750 a pill. He's the owner of a small biotech pharmaceutical company and insists that the drug's increase in cost is to fund R&D for a more effective drug. Daraprim, the drug that we're discussing right now, has been used since 1953 and is considered to be incredibly effective in combination with other common antimalarials, what this drug is often used for. That is it for our news for the week. Like I said, we'll be at ESL next week, and we'll hope to give you some kind of behind-the-scenes look there. For now, enjoy the patch, and we'll see you guys on the next TLDR.